Well, we've got a bit of an exclusive today. Mitch Sorbie, who's a regular with us, chatting on many times, and being a businessman of the Isle of Man, has got many opinions. But the big news is you are dipping your toe, and I think we've been waiting for someone to come out, because it's exactly a year until the actual general election in the Isle of Man. You're going to form a political party, right?
That's correct, Paul. I've thought long and hard about this. But I love this little island, and I really can't stand by and watch it getting, I would say, destroyed the way it is at the moment.
Destroyed?
I think it's getting destroyed. We have leaders that have very little, if any, commercial experience, and what they're doing is they're putting unrealistic demands on the island that's creating so much hassle for business. It's unbelievable.
Okay. I'll come down to more of what it's standing for, but first of all, this party, have you already got people of similar minds on board, or is this now your sort of point to go out to find people who are going to stand under what you think are the right reasons?
I have spoken to a number of business people, and that's what's basically created my draft manifesto that's online at www.isleofmanfirst.com,
right.
Where you can read it. It's everyone that's looked at it has said they think it's a sensible manifesto. It covers most things that the island needs. But at the end of the day, to answer your direct question, this is the launch pad to get serious people that would be interested in running to become MHKs a year today, basically. And we have a lot of work to do between now and then. The problem you have, Paul, is what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Right.
That's what I think is happening with Isle of Man politics. We have 24 individuals that are really nice people. They chap your door every 4 or 5 years and say, Paul, I said I was going to do this, that, and the next thing, and you say, yep, you did say, and that's the reason why I voted for you. And at the next stage you say, well, you haven't done any of it. And I go, Paul, I'm one of 24. I tried my hardest, but no one else would get in behind me. And at that point there, it becomes irrelevant. There's no one held accountable for any of the decisions that are made. And I think we need a massive paradigm shift on island. If it doesn't work, 5 years' time, you vote the party out.
Well,
but if it does work,
yeah,
we're on a platform to a winner. Because if we don't do something now, my honest gut feel, Paul, I would give us 2 terms and we'll be tagged on to the northwest of England with an MP.
I mean, looking in the past, we haven't exactly embraced party politics here in the Isle of Man. I mean, there's been attempts, and there's been 2 or 3 members at one stage, but within months it unravels almost. But you know, to find those people who are going to stand by your core values and stick to it, how can you do that?
I think proper vetting initially. I think proper, very much proper vetting. But I think people now are tired. We're tired of poor services for more money. We're tired of businesses closing. We're tired of not getting on and off the island. We're tired of it, the cost that it's frustrating, because this island has so much to offer.
But it all takes money if you're talking about infrastructure, and no doubt all the things that go with that, and better health service. I'm sure you'll be in there. This is where we have problems, right?
Well, I've got 3 main issues that I would really like to cover today. I think healthcare is a must. We're an ageing population. I have been fortunate enough not to have to use the health service personally. Much, I may put much. I've done a few silly things and ended up in A&E, but that's beside the point.
Oh, right.
But what you see wonderful frontline staff doing a fantastic job, but their hands are tied behind their back. There's not enough of them. I see middle management, I see senior management walking around from time to time with clipboards. we don't need clipboards. We need people actually looking after sick people.
So what do you think that when Manx Care was introduced, a £3 million solution at the time, wasn't it?
Well,
now it's more than that, but...
Well, I find it unusual from a business perspective that you're doing a rationalisation to make it efficient, and it actually costs you more money.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I find. You know, call me simple, but if you're trying to streamline something, trying to make it more efficient, does that not mean you would not end up saving money as opposed to costing you money?
So too many chiefs, not enough Indians.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And in general, but the civil service, I mean, everyone's having a go at that. Are you getting on that one as well? Too many?
I think there are areas that where savings can be made, where efficiencies can be put in. But at the end of the day, it's something that you need to look at. You need to be in the position. You need to see all the facts. Yes, you can make key assumptions. You can get so much information from the freedom of information, but government sometimes isn't as open as it should be. And I don't need to tell you that, Paul.
Well, I mean, 10 years ago, Alf Cannon, when he was purely a backbencher, was belting on about honesty, transparency, and all that. But move everyone into power, and things always seem to change to some degree. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can't say the minute there's transparency going on, can you?
Oh, absolutely not.
But would you be any different? I mean, power corrupts, as they always say, don't they? Almost.
Well, I'm from a business background. I believe in honesty and openness. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, that's got to be the structure of government. You've got to be approachable, which I think, to a greater extent, I think the current MHKs are all approachable. But I just think they're ineffective. It's like herding cats, Paul. It's 24 opinions. Mm-hmm. And I think if we start with the political party with a manifesto that's workable, you get people to buy into the manifesto that want to run as MHKs. It's a bit like everyone's in a canoe. You get 24 people in a canoe and they're all paddling their own different way.
Well, so you're a businessman, so you're looking for other business people to do this. Now, I don't know if the salary is going to excite people if they're successful in business. Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot of people do get excited with the money, obviously, because it's much more than they maybe will on now. But you want people who don't need the money, maybe.
Correct. I want people that want to make a difference to the island.
Right. So it's a
passion. It's something that they want to do. It's something they want to. They want to make this a wonderful island to live, work, and enjoy themselves. I've said to many people, this could be the Singapore of Europe. Obviously not with the population. I don't want the population of Singapore for any particular reason.
Do you want more here then?
I think we need to sort what we've got at the moment. Let's call a halt in the number of people that are coming here. Let's sort out the problems we have now, and then you'll find naturally people will want to come here. We shouldn't be promoting particular countries to actively come to the island. All that's doing is creating more hassles for our health service, our schools, and everything like that. You look at the state Britain's in at the moment.
Well, we're always looking for the next big thing. We had our e-gaming moments, maybe the film industry to some degree. The minute, it doesn't seem to be much on the horizon. Yeah, I mean, you're a businessman. You see it in your place, do you? Because if people are employed here, they go and spend their money. Correct. They go and buy their pizzas and that sort of thing. No advertising needed for that one. But I mean, the minimum wage is being mooted now to go up. Mm-hmm. Things like that. Is that good for you or bad for you? I mean, is this going to be above the UK?
It will be, for an 18-year-old, it will be the highest minimum wage in the Western world.
Well,
and I think
that'll be by law then? You have to pay that.
That will be by law. And the thing is, they talk about minimum wage, living wage, etc., etc. It's people have different. When you go through life, Paul, I probably don't need to tell you, but as you go through life, your circumstances change. What you require, when you're young and you've got kids, you need more money. When you're older and retiring, you can live on less. When you're young coming through, you can live on less because you're staying at home with your parents and various things like that. So there is, we come through now to offer youngsters that are still staying at home phenomenal amount of money. I think there's two reasons. First of all, the government doesn't know how to hang on to the youngsters, just keep on island.
That's huge, isn't it? I mean, people just drift off and never come back until maybe they need the health service in their later lives almost, it seems.
Or they have a family and it's still a relatively safe island, so they come back here. So there's that reason there. But at the end of the day, Paul, it's ridiculous. And I've said this to you before, for every pound that goes on to the minimum wage, or the living wage, whatever you want to call it, that costs my little restaurant £50,000 a year. Because everyone's got to scale up. That's your lowest figure, and what people are now turning on to is for every pound government can force onto a business, to pay additional. They're getting roughly 50 pence of that pound every hour.
Back in the tax?
Back in tax. Not only do they get the tax, they get the national insurance, and then they get the employer's national insurance.
Okay, I mean,
But
your business is very much derived on you need lots of staff and you have headaches all the time. I know, but who doesn't? Because you can't retain people. But surely a better wage would make people want to stay. But at the same time, you're going to put the prices up in your restaurants.
Well, the problem is hospitality industry, and I don't want to really diversify into hospitality, but just generally,
in general,
hospitality is very much a hands-on. Unlike a lot of offices and various things like that, and I've worked in offices. I worked with Xerox for 10 years, so I just under 10 years. So I know what it's like in an office.
Okay.
When someone goes on holiday or whatever it is, you'll say to your friend, look, will you just look after my territory? If someone phones, will you handle the inquiry? When I've got someone off in the bar, I can't just say, okay, right, we're just going to leave the bar empty. I've actually physically got to have a bar person there.
Sure.
I've got to have someone carrying drinks. I've got to have someone carrying food. Okay. So the hospitality industry tends to be so much more labour intensive by human beings.
Okay. Well, you're right, but let's don't go down that one too much today. But let's now, you've got people who are now ears are pricked up. So remind people, where can they get more information on this website? You
can get more information on the website. It's online. It's www.isleofmanfirst.com.
Right.
3 areas that I want to really people to think about is first is health, which we've covered. Secondly is education. I want to have the youngsters that are going to university. I would like them to study on Ireland. I would like UCM.
There's always been a dream for that to happen, isn't it? It hasn't never really.
I don't think there's. What was it they say? Where there's a will, there's a way. I don't think there's any great will to do it.
But to have a university, actually.
I would have a university. Just up the road. Students actually actively go and look for students that want to come here, that want to study here. Let's become a centre of excellence. We're surrounded by water. What happened to the maritime?
Unfortunately, that bit of water is quite expensive. Of course,
that's
actually another subject matter, probably. I mean,
for another day, Paul. For another day.
You're right.
But the other thing that I am very, very passionate about is homes. People should have the right to buy their own home, and whether we like Margaret Thatcher or not in the 90s, 80s, 90s, what she did to Scotland with the right to buy. Was amazing. Where I lived in Alexandria, next to Loch Lomond, there was a housing estate up in the hill. It was a no-go area. You wouldn't dream of cycling up there as a kid in your push bike because you knew it would be taken from you.
This is when it was council houses.
This is when it was all council houses, and it was wild. And you would see gardens that are 3 feet high grass, and I think the fridges were lost in it, and probably a couple of bodies as well.
And all that changed?
People bought their houses for a significant discount. First thing they did, put new windows in, updated their insulation, put new kitchens in, put new bathrooms in. They had a pride in their properties. The grass was cut, the grass was manicured.
You're suggesting the same thing here?
I would like to see our housing stock getting turned over to being able to buy your own house. That would be one of the key things that I would want to do, is to put that in place, that long-term tenants, we all want to own property. It gets our foot in the ladder, and what can happen with that money then is that can be ring-fenced to build new properties, more efficient properties.
All this is going to cost money, so let's go to the chase of this. The better health service and everything, is education. How are you going to pay for it?
I want to start a sovereign wealth fund for the island.
Go on.
Basically, we look at the assets we have, we sell them, we then invest that, and we have external experts investing. Classic example is Norway. Norway in the 60s embraced oil. They're now sitting in a $1.8 trillion sovereign wealth fund, and that funds infrastructure. So we're talking about the steam packet wanting to spend 120 million on a new boat. If we had the sovereign wealth fund, then we could use some of that money.
If we had that, how did you get that in the first place?
Well, there's a lot of assets around the island.
Really, we got that many assets to sell off?
You just need to look at the vacant building plots.
Okay.
You just look at the old prison site. And there's behind. I'm trying to remember just from here. There's an old school that was demolished. Plus, there's a load of other things. But when you ask for in the freedom of information, what assets does the government have? They try and we don't know. We need to employ someone to find out. Come on, you either know it or you don't know it. The other thing as well, Paul, from with that hand in glove is the wages. I think when governments are forcing, they say it's to get people out of poverty. That's the reason why they need to up the living wages, etc., etc. These wages have gone up 30 odd % in the last couple of years. Our allowances have gone up pennies. What I would like to do is, but the thing is, we as a party we would need to be able to have 13 people in power elected, because we would need to make radical changes. What I would love to see is in the first term, well, the first 100 days, I'd like to see tax and NI thresholds instantly go to £20,000. That puts money in everyone's pockets, Paul. And what do people do when they've got money in their pocket?
Yeah, I get it, but the government loses that money.
Government loses that money, but it's been costed out.
You've done some projections.
We've done some projections.
So are you going to touch actual tax rates then? I mean, forget allowances, but are you looking to make the richer pay more or whatever?
I think the richer should pay slightly more.
They won't stay, of course, you know that, don't you? Or potentially.
Well, no,
a lot of them here because they're here because of the tax, I presume. Not all, but some.
Yeah, yes, they're here because of the tax, but what you have is, if you've got the infrastructure that people want to stay, regardless of the tax system, they'll stay. Mm-hmm. And I think most of the people that have money out there are prepared to pay that wee bit more to let the less fortunate. But as I say, if everyone's getting tax-free and NI free to 20,000, they've instantly get cash in their pockets. And ideally, what I'd like to do over the period of the first period of the 5 years is take that tax and NI free up to 42,500.
Okay, this is quite radical. This
is totally radical.
Yeah,
it's putting the power back with the people.
I mean, short term, the money is lost from the government. You're hoping, though, that is
with savings that can be made, with efficiencies that can be made, with the sovereign wealth fund, with other assets that the government has that could be properly utilised. Then I reckon we could do this.
Are there any of the 24 sitting members that you'd be reaching out to or wanting to hear from?
That's a loaded question, that, Paul. Thank you very much for that one.
Welcome to the politics on the spot.
The answer to the question is...
You don't have to answer it, obviously.
No, of course you've got to answer it. If you ask a question, you expect an answer. Whether it's the answer you want to hear or not, that's the thing.
You're selling to them out there, not me.
For as long as you get an answer.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, few of them have spoken to me. Few of them have had the sneak preview of my manifesto.
So you have been working the rooms a bit, have you? Just indicating that you're going to do this.
Yeah. Just
so this is really just the public announcement today.
This is the public announcement.
But there will be people watching this.
Absolutely.
Who would hopefully want to connect with you.
I love debate. I love people wanting to put something back. Human nature is we take. There's not too many people want to put put things back. And I'm looking for 24 individuals to stand that want to put something back to the island to make this a phenomenal place to live and work.
You're a businessman, a successful businessman. What would you have to do with your business then if you took this on?
Well, to a certain extent, Paul, my business runs very much on its own. I'm like probably the captain.
Tuesday morning, you're the cleaner, because you told me that. You said, come on Tuesdays to interviews, because that's the one morning I have off almost. But yeah.
Well, I've managed to farm that out now, so we're all right. I'm no longer a cleaner than Tuesday.
Yeah, you know what I mean, though. Can you... Okay, I'm being serious now. I shouldn't have said that. Can you park your business, or would you still be involved in business?
I think hands off. I would have a hands off relationship with the business. But yeah, it's still my baby. It's still had a lot of bloodshed, sweat and tears in that. But I understand if you're an elected MHK, first and foremost is you're beholden to that. You need to make it work. But as I said to you there, Paul, without getting a majority of 13 people elected, I would like to stand one person every single seat, with a possibility of getting at least 13 of us elected.
You'll have your core things, but everyone will have their own things as well. They can add those on.
I want to try and keep
just the party politics.
The straight line. Right. People know who we are. People buy into that, and regardless of who you're talking to, you get the same message.
Jersey has made. I think it's Reform, isn't it, from Jersey? They've made their ingoings. It has been possible because same things going on elsewhere. But it's never easy to get that many people to agree the same things. Maybe in a small island, and the people that you want. You're going to be looking.
Well, I'm a great believer, Paul. Is the manifesto is the port. We've got the Irish Sea out there that's blowing an absolute hoolie, and we need a strong captain to take the boat to that port. But unless everyone knows that's the port we're going to, not that one, not that
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
not that one. That's the port we're going to.
So
That's
you're
your
going
focus.
for national issues then. There's nothing local in the, because you can't, because you're going for the island wide, right?
National interests, yes. Local interests can be handled very much by the commissioners.
Ah, right.
You know, if it's you know,
If you talk about bins and dogs and things like that, you mean?
yeah, that can all be handled.
Potholes.
Locally, yeah. What we need to do, and we need a radical change, because unless we get this radical change, I would say now, and I said this earlier on in the interview, Paul.
Yeah.
10 years time, if we haven't changed,
Okay.
you know, we'll be in such a state, the UK, and I don't know what sort of state the UK is going to be in at that point, but you'll just get tagged on to the northwest, and you'll become like a devolved parliament, like
One
Scotland,
member
Wales.
in Westminster, you mean, sort of thing?
Well, I don't even think you'll have that. You'll just be tagged on to the northwest,
Jeepers. Okay.
and you'll just be a devolved parliament, like Scotland, like Holyrood.
Well, they'd have to do a lot to get that far. We better wrap it up in a minute, but there's going to be other parts. Well, I know there are other people have been talking to me
yeah.
about doing something. Is this now the moment you would be reaching out to say, let's consolidate,
Correct.
let's be one unit together? Because, as I said, I think I know of a few that are going to be coming my way soon, possibly. But that's going to just spattergun everything, isn't it? It's going to really dilute
it. Yeah, it's going to dilute it, and then what you're going to find is the incumbents are going to get back in.
Right.
And you know, go back to the definition of insanity. You know, we do the self-same thing, but we expect a different result. It's crazy. And this is the opportunity to make a stance, to get people behind what I think the island needs. Not just me. I think what the island needs. It's a phenomenal island. It's lovely people. It's a great place to live and work. And we've got sunshine outside, Paul. You know, I've just driven up from Port St Mary. I've got the water's edge at Guernsey Bay. I just think, I am so lucky to be alive, more so living on this island. And all I want to do is just put something back into it.